You are now about to witness the strength of geek knowledge. That's right, you're trapped in another Get to Know the Cage segment here on NerdCage Live, where I'll be sharing with you my top 10 TV shows of all time. I'm going to start this off with an honorable mention, and that is the TV show MASH. Now, first, a disclaimer, the reason this is an honorable mention and it's not on my actual top 10 is because I was very young growing up when I was watching this show and wasn't able to get all the dark humor that was in it. However, that didn't stop me from enjoying the TV show. This show sets around the Korean War and sets around the doctors that are in the field. I think the one that stole the show in this had to be Alan Alda as Hawkeye. The humor and comic relief that he brought to this was unmatched, and the camaraderie that he had with all of the other cast members just blended so well with the TV show. And who can forget the hilarious moments with Klinger and all of his antics, as well as the interactions between Hawkeye and Duke, and the love interest with almost every cast member with Hot Lips Houlihan. The entertainment value for its time was peak television, and the blend of the seriousness of the Korean War mixed with the dark humor on set just went hand in hand. Moving on, at number 10, I have Quantum Leap. I remember fond memories of sitting on the couch with my father watching this show, and I love the sci-fi element of a scientist that has a machine that he steps into to take an experiment, and it takes him back in time, and he leaps into other characters to live a portion of their lives, unfolding a mystery of how he can leap to the next person and try to get back home. I love that premise, and Scott Bakula and Dean Stockwell have such a great chemistry together as they try to figure out and unravel these mysteries. It might be a guilty pleasure for some, but I think this deserves to be on my list. At number 9, I have the cult classic, which is Seinfeld. I don't think there's a person in America or even in the world today that hasn't seen at least one episode of Seinfeld, and the show stands the test of time. Larry David is a comic genius behind this show, and it shows. I love all the colorful characters: Jerry, George, Newman, Elaine, and of course Kramer, and all of the crazy situations that they find themselves in. And there are too many funny moments to name here, but I'll do my best. Elaine's incessant dancing, the pool scene, the infamous pool scene with George, all of Kramer's entrances, the rivalry between Newman and Jerry. Everything is just so hilarious about this show, and it's a cult classic for a reason, for sure. At number 8.
He played Kate on Star Trek.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what he's doing nowadays.
He's probably getting fucked in the ass.
I have Star Trek: The Next Generation. This is another TV show that I sat and watched with my father, and I think out of all the Star Trek shows, not to take away from the original, but The Next Generation just holds a special place in my heart, and I believe is the best of all of the entire franchise. I think Jean-Luc Picard will always be the best captain, not to take away from William Shatner, but there's something about Patrick Stewart's stage presence that just speaks volumes. And I love the crew of the Enterprise in this one. You have Data, Geordi, Worf, Riker, Deanna Troi, Wesley, and of course, Captain Jean-Luc Picard. And they all work so well together. The show is so quotable, and in this day and age is memed to death, which is great. There's no way I could leave this off my list. At number 7, I have Walker, Texas Ranger. Of course I had to have a 90s TV show with Chuck Norris in it. Why wouldn't you? This show, although over the top and another one that's kind of meme to the max, I have very fond memories of watching this show with my father and watching all the roundhouse kicks and just watching Chuck Norris be Chuck Norris. And something about 90s TV that we don't really get in today's TV shows is the moral factor and being able to kind of learn something from it, as cheesy as that sounds. At number 6, I have Knight Rider. Who can forget the introduction of that Pontiac Firebird with the light bar across the front of it, and the main character that is Michael Knight. David Hasselhoff did such a great job in this. I think this was everybody's fantasy, akin to like a James Bond car, but way over the top, being able to have a car that talks to you and has all these weird spy features on it. Just having a character like Michael Knight just thrown into it was a tremendous experience, and it's one that I'll never forget. And let's just say this show is one of a kind. They tried to reboot it. It kind of fell on its face, which just goes to show how great the original was, and it stands the test of time. At number 5, I have MacGyver. Now, there are those out there that say that Richard Dean Anderson's best show is Stargate SG-1. I have to disagree with that. I think his best TV show of all time was MacGyver. Anybody that could disarm a bomb with a paperclip deserves to be recognized as a true superstar character. This is another show that I watched with my father growing up. Every episode is a wild ride with lots of action, lots of intellectual moments that you don't expect, using your brain to find ways out of a difficult situation. I definitely had to include this on my list. At number 4, I have Ozark. This show was dark and tense. Jason Bateman as Marty Bird stole the show in this one, and the whole family element of getting thrown in these tough situations and trying to find your way through them. It just had this atmosphere that made you think, are they going to make it through this? And that edge of your seat tenseness is what really elevates this show, in my opinion. Every time an episode ended, I just wanted to go to the next one. In fact, when I got to the last season, I had to binge the whole thing in one sitting. I was really sad to see this one end. At number 3, I have Stranger Things. This show has captivated me from the first episode all the way through to current, following the story of Eleven and all of her friends and having that 80s feel to it with the supernatural thrown in. And who could forget my favorite part, the whole Metallica scene with Master of Puppets in the Upside Down. You couldn't ask for a better experience. This show had to be on my list, hands down. At number 2, as much of a fan as I am of The Karate Kid, I had to put Cobra Kai. This show was another one that had you on the edge of your seat throughout every season, and you got to see old rivalries from the movies with John Kreese and Terry Silver. So many callbacks to the original movies, made for a wild ride and a masterful experience, and I had so much fun watching it. Any TV show that showcases kicking ass, especially in a Karate Kid type atmosphere, I'm all for it. And here we go, the moment we've all been waiting for. My number 1 TV show of all time is none other than Breaking Bad. I don't think any of us were ready to see Bryan Cranston, who is known for being the father in Malcolm in the Middle, be a badass like he is in this show. Him and Aaron Paul had a, no pun intended, chemistry that was great together. And him being thrown into this world of cooking illicit drugs such as meth and just having to be forced to go through this crazy illegal activity just to ensure that his family would be okay. Going through all these situations, it kept me on the edge of my seat from start to finish. I had to see what was going to happen next. I think the ending was great. As sad as it was, I think it fits. So this show, I don't think I can find anything that I can nitpick as a flaw in this show. This show is flawless. So that's my top 10 TV shows of all time. Let us know yours in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe for more Get to Know the Cage segments.